Should we live?
We should be.
Yeah, I see it.
You see it?
Yeah.
All right, we're back. New managing moderators can support your channel in even more ways. And they always adding something. Let's see. All right.
There we go.
Hmm?
We are back. Oh, my phone's falling all over the place.
All right. Welcome back. Welcome back. You're back on the bench podcast with Bubba and Pink, home of sports, music, and mayhem. Don't forget we're available on all our Do Me All podcast streaming platforms, including here on YouTube. Please like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. All right. I had to bring out the robe today, man. It doesn't look too bad on camera.
I was gonna say I'm wearing a Drip Hive shirt and you're wearing a robe. You shocked me coming out of the car.
Yeah.
I was, like, what the hell's going on here?
I just got lazy. I didn't feel like putting on any clothes, man.
I thought you might have been working yourself over in the car.
The guys next door said, "Oh, y'all shooting a porno over there?" I said, "Not with all those dicks over there, man. I'm not into that." I watched this his hilarious movie. It was an older movie though. I don't know. I came across like one of those clips on like Facebook, Instagram, or something.
Yeah.
It was from an old movie. Miri and Dan go make some porno.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was hilarious. But it was, but the guy in there was
it Seth Rogen?
Seth Rogen and the gang.
Okay.
And the guy had one of the guys that they ended up meeting was a gay porno star.
I don't remember.
So that was a hilarious scene.
Oh
right
yeah, okay.
When he first found it out,
that was a good idea for a movie.
It was a great idea.
I feel like we're not getting, particularly in the theater, we're not getting like raunchy comedies.
Well, so much has happened with the way things are distributed and made now with Netflix and all these other. It's weird. It's weird to get a box office, but the comedies, maybe they're running out of ideas. Is that what you're getting at?
No, I just think that there's just a kind of a movement away from the good raunchy comedy.
Yeah.
I think you'll get there's some stuff that kind of slides a little bit close to that space that'll be like kind of direct release to one of the the platforms, but you're just not getting like I mean The Hangover, that one making the porno. There's just a lot. Seth Rogen had a couple.
No, Seth is a beast.
But you're just not like. It just feels like it's been a long time. And the other genre that's died is the Black Holiday movie.
Well,
Like you don't get anything. I'll take them all day over a lot of the horse shit that's being filmed out now.
Tyler Perry, your phone is ringing.
No, keep him the fuck away. No, he doesn't do the good ones. I'm over that guy. I think he's lost the plot. He doesn't do that. He's always got these like the more stuff. And I've watched quite a lot of Tyler Perry stuff. The character development just doesn't exist. It's just not that entertaining or not that well done. And then the other genre like is the Jordan Peele crap, where there's always this element of like weirdness, and so I can't tolerate him either. And then Coogler went that direction with the other one, the last one he did.
Yeah.
So like I'm really screwed here with no black filmmakers that I'm into watching. Like, and that's the thing. Like, give us a good, funny family comedy, little raunch, little feel good positivity. Like, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
You know?
No. I hear you.
And we're just not getting those old school raunchy. What was the one with like Burt Reynolds and
oh, you went back a little bit there.
And Mark Wahlberg when he was Dirk Diggler, the porn star?
Who say that again?
like Burt Reynolds and Mark Wahlberg. It was a film. I can't remember. The name escapes me. But it was he played Dirk Diggler. He was like this porn star. It was like loosely based on the life of John Holmes, the porn star.
Okay.
But it was classically funny, but just absurdly funny from one scene to the next. Don Cheadle was in it.
I got to go back and find that one.
I think it's called Boogie Nights.
Okay. No, I haven't seen that one.
You should watch that one.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just an unhinged hysterical comedy with like a lot of stupidity. Yeah.
Well, we don't have too much stupidity for you today on the show. We're going to be talking about some NFL stuff here with the Thanksgiving Day games, Shedeur Sanders, all that good stuff, NBA beef, some college football that we're not looking forward to talking about, and some Thanksgiving stuff. I have a list for you, man. Top Thanksgiving foods, all right, to eat.
I might not vote a single thing that you have on there.
Well, we'll see.
I'm not a holiday traditional eater.
We'll see when we get there. It depends, man. It depends. All right. Now, what I wanted to start with here, all right, while I was away, first of all, I had a pretty good trip, man. I had a good trip, a good vacation.
Was this like I was talking to Jackie about this. Were you on like a Caribbean style cruise?
Yeah.
Okay, I couldn't wrap my head around you being on like a predominantly white cruise. I just didn't think that would go real well.
I have.
Yeah.
But not for 7 days. No,
right.
That wouldn't go well.
Small doses of white people. That's why we capped the show at 2 hours.
But yeah, it was called the Uber Soca Cruise, man.
Okay.
Just at the time of my life. I label it as the absolute most fun I could possibly have without sex being involved.
Really?
It's like the absolute, there is no wiggle room there.
You had another sex-free cruise? Well, what are you celibate these days?
And what's funny is a lot of sex goes on those cruises, man.
That's the way it's supposed to go. Like, yeah. What? You were just an observer?
No, not an observer of the sex, but an observer of the vibes. But man, just a ton of fun, man.
Did you bring that robe back from the cruise?
No, man.
Bubba the voyeur.
But while I was away, there was
wait, you didn't have any good stories? Like, I remember you went on that one cruise and you thought like you saw like football at 2:00 and you went up there expecting to put the pads on and they were playing soccer.
They were playing soccer. No, they had another football tournament, right?
Okay,
but of course, I was fully prepared to watch the soccer this time.
You didn't participate or play?
No, but they had a basketball tournament.
You played?
Yeah.
Nice.
Playing.
Did you rep the 407 well?
I shot well, but I didn't bring like all, any of my knees or anything. So I just shot the ball and did. But those guys were like going, they were going full tilt.
Really?
And
any good players?
Not really.
Okay.
Not really.
Lots of emotion, little talent.
But I shot well and stuff like that. But we lost. We lost. Lost to some Trinidad guys. Shout out to Trinidad.
No, shout out to Trinidad. Well, so was it one of those deals where like you shot really well and then like for the rest of the cruise, like random people would bump in, oh, that guy could shoot.
No, but you run into those guys that
for sure.
With. And then maybe the other guys are look at these fools, all this ass walking around. They're fucking killing themselves playing basketball. So
it wasn't like Summertime with Will Smith where the girls were on a basketball court.
No, but people were watching and stuff like that. So that was good. And
it
was it was actually a game. There was this maybe not.
What? Just give it to us, man.
No, because it's not even funny enough for worth the trouble.
Oh,
okay.
Jeez.
All right. So what I wanted to talk about was while I was away, I found out there was a beef going on. We kind of was talking about it pre-show here.
Yeah.
And you got this Draymond Green and Kenyon Martin beef going on here. And there's a couple of things here that I have issues with, I have issues with. Number one, first and foremost, I don't like people who draw beef out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, because I know what that's about. I know what you're doing. And because as Pink has illustrated on this show for years and years. The world is full of idiots, so nobody else catches on. But like, there's just no reason for Kenyon Martin to just drop this out of nowhere. Like, oh, Draymond is soft, and this like, oh, he's not, or whatever. Like, it's just no reason. And then to like keep it going and have this notebook of 1,000 power forwards that he's like that is better than Draymond and all of this, and just for what? Yeah. You didn't play against them. That you don't. He's not smashing your girl. He's not like, you guys are in two totally separate. Like, but what it is that a lot of these podcasters and shows, they found a recipe that beef sells. So they're going to get a lot of views, and they're going to keep it going and all of that. And it's fucking bullshit. But I'll talk about it because it did pique my interest from a lot of the people on social media talking about it.
I couldn't agree more, though. Like, you literally, to have a beef, you have to have played against each other, had bad business dealings with each other, or somebody smashed somebody's girl. Like, those are the three things.
Yeah, without those three elements, like what are we doing?
Yeah. There's no point. You guys are not connected enough to have a genuine beef.
At all.
It has to be one of those three categories.
Now, what happens out of this is that the diminishing of Draymond comes. So a lot of people, and so the thing about Kenyon Martin is, Kenyon Martin was not a bum. He was a good player in the NBA. He was a good player. He had a good career. You know what I mean? He made the All-Star team once. He was on a really good team that made it to the finals with the Nets and stuff like that. So he had a good career, man. But like, when you come at a guy like Draymond, then because it's not like Kenyon is saying or said, I'm way better than Draymond. I don't want to. But and some of this does come from jealousy as well, because maybe he does believe that, but Draymond has the accolades. But he was naming all the other power forwards that are better than Draymond and stuff like that, or. But we go to that place automatically, like Kenyon versus Draymond, and their careers or their talent and stuff like that. And, and because Draymond is not a scorer, it's just that the novices, the people who watch box scores and highlights more than anything else, they just diminish Draymond. And that just gets to me because I love fucking defense so much. I'm a maniac when it comes to defense. And I have not seen 5 players in the history of the NBA to play defense better than Draymond Green. I just have not. They don't just hand out and throw out defensive player of the year awards and all NBA defensive teams. They don't just give it to anybody and everybody. They don't just give it to anybody and everybody that are on good teams. They're on great teams. There are a lot of good teams and great teams. The Miami Heat, all those years, they didn't have anybody that won a Defensive Player of the Year award. They don't, you know what I mean? The Spurs, but you can go on and on with these great teams that don't have players that have these accolades. So that doesn't make sense. Oh, it's because he's on a great team that he's because he's with Curry. That's why he won Defensive Player of the Year. What are you talking about? If anything, in the beginning of Curry's career, he was such a minus defender. You know what I mean? That being that Golden State Warriors were always a top 5 defensive team, and with Steph Curry being such a minus defender, that made Draymond Green, what he was doing on the court, that much more impressive and effective. But people don't think about it in those terms. I don't know why. We only look at scoring. But even if you only look at scoring, what the fuck? I mean, what do you think? Kenyon Martin is fucking Wilt Chamberlain? I mean, what are we talking about? We're talking about a 14, 15 points per game guy as the number 1 overall pick, a guy who they put the ball in their hands and say, hey, shoot and score as much as you want to. This is all horse shit. And Kenyon he ought to be ashamed of himself, man. He ought to be ashamed.
No, I do. I agree with you. Kenyon Martin, he's a really good poster boy for the product versus the draft. If Kenyon Martin were drafted in the mid to late lottery, his career would look different. But when you're the top pick in the draft, there is an expectation of superstar level play. And when you don't meet that, there is a sense of disappointment about what your career was about. And again, objectively, take out the draft status, he had a very good NBA career. Very solid, respected by his peers, competitive guy, tough guy in his own way. But when you say this was the top pick in the draft, it feels less than full. And I thought Draymond's takedown was phenomenal. Like, he gave credit where credit was due. He kind of gave you the little question mark about, like, what, is this what we expect from a top pick? It was masterful. It was a master class of giving a guy a certain level of respect, but artfully, craftfully calling out the shortcomings of his career. And it's another reason why I really love Draymond. And then the other point you made that I'm fully on board with Draymond, you have to watch games. You can't watch highlights and understand what's going on. You have to watch him, play long stretches of basketball and see how he kind of coordinates the defense, how he, kind of energizes the entire team, and all of the subtle things he does on offense that make that team go. And that is, absolutely top level stuff. We did talk before the show, though. Draymond's, because culture is associated with stats and highlights, Draymond's career is always a little bit vulnerable to the naive eye. And there's the alternative narrative that if he didn't get on a good team, that maybe none of this kind of ever breaks through in the way that it has. And I do think that there are certain guys that, and I put them in this category, they matter most in competitive situations because they're great competitors and they find ways to impact games. And when you're just playing out the string for a team like Charlotte, what you're doing just doesn't equate to a whole lot. And I do think that, we're all fortunate as basketball fans that he went to a team and plays with guys that he can be the best version of himself. And that's a game deciding guy.
Yeah, 100%. And I do agree with that. But like I was saying pre-show, I do believe Draymond is good enough to give him the benefit of the doubt to say, I don't know, maybe he could have helped turned around a bad franchise or a middling franchise. I don't know what Draymond. Let me put it this way to be stronger with it, because I do believe. I think Draymond would have been supremely effective with Damian Lillard and C.J. McCollum. I think he makes that team a lot fucking better. Could you even name a power forward in the C.J. McCollum, Damian Lillard era? Did
they have Aldridge with them at one point?
Very early. And I don't even know if C.J. was a part of that. But very early. You know what I mean? But like that type of player, because, LaMarcus, even if you take LaMarcus, he's a post scoring, guy.
Yeah.
He's not a guy that's going to set a bunch of screens. He's not going to play any defense at all. He's not going to rim protect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's an offensive threat. But if you take a guy like Draymond, who's going to set screens, who's going to be a dominant defender, all of that, and all of their primes connected at that time as well, that team in that era is much better. Also, Dame and CJ played more years without LaMarcus. I'm willing to bet without a thing in my
I think that's a much better example than to say, like, okay, put him in Charlotte, who's been bad for as long as we can remember.
Yeah.
Because again, you had two, all-star level offensive stars on that team, and those teams always, they get in the playoffs, but they always lack something. They always lack toughness. They always lack, defensive bite. And like, you literally, that could be an ideal thing where Draymond could be perfectly suited to be himself, not be stretched where he has to do more than he's capable of doing, and be the difference maker for those guys that are offensive dudes.
Yeah.
Like an alternative scenario is like putting Draymond in a position where he's going to take 17 to 20 shots a night is not going to let him be the best player that he could be.
No.
But Portland would represent a situation where they have ball handling, they have offensive attackers, and he would basically be there to make them better. And it could conceivably have worked at a high level with those guys.
Yeah, and that's all I'm saying. Like, he doesn't have to have been with Curry to have the level of career that he's had. Rings aside, because that's like, who knows, but all rings aside, he doesn't have to have been with Curry to do that. But and that's it's just so frustrating to watch and to see, and all these guys and they comment, they almost get me back in the mode where I want to go on Facebook and argue with these guys. I've kind of retired from that from a few years now, with the whole Jordan LeBron thing. That made me retire from keyboard arguing with these guys. But it's just like, man, like you said, you have to like watch the games. If you don't watch the games, what's the point of even getting into all of these deep arguments about basketball? You know what I mean? And I thought about this too, because I know what it is. Because it's like in the NFL, there's this general thought amongst guys that the NFL is very complex and nuanced. You can sit down, you can have like a guy like John Gruden come into a room full of guys, normal guys, and talk plays and talk and 80% of the things he says, we may not even fucking, connect with or recognize. Because of all the terminologies and all of this and all of that, even though we're guys that have watched football our entire lives. But on the flip side, in a different sport, in basketball, I think a lot of guys feel like because they go to the local LA Fitness and they play high school maybe and this and that, they know basketball, they know the game. But there is more nuance to the game of basketball than people give it credit for, and that's the Draymond Green effect, because we can't quantify the leadership, you can't quantify the screen setting, you can't quantify the defensive, whatever, like you said, coordination, or even just the productivity in a lot of, if it's not counting stats. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So and that's the beauty of a player like Draymond Green. And honestly, there's not a ton of other guys like him. So you can't even like bring up examples.
Yeah, there's no viable examples.
You know what I mean?
He's a very, very unique player in the history of the game, in what he's been able to do, and there's just not a lot of people that have ever really played like him. So that's a great point. Yeah. But I love the nuance of basketball, because there's so many little things that have to be done on the fly to make something work. Whether it's creating space, whether it's moving in a way that's going to make a defender react to something that opens something else up. And again, like I play a ton of pickup, and very rarely do I play with anybody with any nuance in the game. And I played today, and it's just like I was literally the only player setting screens, literally the only who thought to do that. Not only that, like I if a screen was set that wasn't by me, it was 100% an on-ball screen, and I'm setting off-ball screens, more than anything. And it's just like, not to say that I dominated the game in any way, but like those simple things created higher quality shots for my team. And then that did result in success. Did you see Iron do the thing about the on-ball, off-ball screens?
No.
He had a clip on social media, and it was talking about guys always setting on-ball screens. And he's like, nobody thinks to do off-ball screens. And I'm like, I do. And he laughed.
That's the beauty. Yeah, that's just.
But I've gotten on you about that.
That's great. No, for sure.
Yeah, just because it's so difficult to guard a screen away from the ball.
Yeah.
Like everybody's defensively and they should be looking at the ball and know where it is. And when you have a ball screen, there's options to hedge, slide, trap, do different things. But like when there's an off-ball screen, nobody's looking for it. And it's like being a headhunter in football. Like you just kind of like slide to a space where you're just out of that guy's line of sight, and then boom, step into his path and hit the hell out of him.
No, 100%.
It's quite satisfying. It really is. I mean, like you're, especially like a relatively smaller guy, like you hit like a bigger player who had no idea you were coming.
Yeah.
They're just like, then they're kind of, somebody talk, nobody's calling these screens.
Yeah, exactly.
But even now, like in Draymond Sebastian, like you talk about screen setting, like it's not just run up there and stand somewhere. Like, you are intentionally creating an angle that is going to be hardest for the defender to see until it's too late. And you're also contemplating an angle that's going to give your offensive teammate the most options. Like, maybe you're setting it so he can truly go downhill, or you're setting it where, he's going to be able to have a pocket of space to play in without getting downhill.
Here goes another impressive thing, because I'm glad you stayed here at screen setting, because I had so much in my head to get out.
Yeah.
One of the most impressive stats I've ever seen, I read about this, but it's in general, is think about how many screens Draymond sets on a regular basis, right?
Through a game, yeah.
Through a game, throughout his career. From the point of his career, like from his first year on, in that time span, Draymond, I forgot how they worded it, but he had the least amount of offensive fouls per screen for illegal screens for anybody that's been in the league.
If he said 1,000 screens,
you know what I mean?
Maybe 12 were fouls versus like other player set the same 1,000 and they had
hundreds.
Yeah,
no. But see that the numbers were like staggering out of how you know what I mean. In my mind, I went to like offensive lineman and holding. You know what I mean? Like You know, it's like an offensive lineman who rarely holds. It's like when we're watching the game or talking about the game, like we don't talk about it. Like we don't talk about that offensive lineman there, he never holds. Like you don't come up in conversation, but it's so fucking like important to the game.
It is, and to think about like it's a significant momentum shifter. Like when an illegal screen is called, you get into an action and the action's working, and then bang, you get popped for the illegal screen. You lose the ball, and it's just this momentum shifting thing. And then I also feel like, maybe overreaction on my part, but I also feel like when you get a ref who has a quick whistle on the illegal screen, now it's in your head, and you're like, well, how am I setting the screen? And maybe you become a little too mechanical. Or maybe as a team, particularly if there's a couple called in a game, you kind of maybe get away from on-ball screen stuff. You very rarely get an off-ball illegal screen. Pretty rare, unless you kind of do something really blatant, like raise an elbow or hold a guy. It's pretty rare. Most of your illegal screens are usually on ball.
And a lot of the times it's because of the ball handler kind of like just moves before they're supposed to. It's a lot of tricky parts in that. So yeah, most of them are on ball screens.
No, that's a wild stat that I didn't.
Yeah, man. Know that. Yeah. But yeah, I mean that goes to that. Now I've been watching like Gil's Arena, and they're keeping this going. I don't know how long they're gonna like ring this out. I mean, because it's so stupid and silly, honestly.
Yeah.
First of all, any cross reference of errors, I'm beginning. The older I get, the more I hate them. I guess the LeBron and Jordan I'll stomach, but the rest of them, like, come on, man, Kenyon Martin, Draymond Green, that's really fucking dumb. It's just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then he had Popeye Jones over Draymond, like, yeah. Come on, man. All right. Moving along here. All right. Another thing here is the Shedeur Sanders. All right. So while I was gone, Shedeur got his first start against the Las Vegas Raiders. All of that good stuff. Had a solid to good game, however you want to view that. Afterwards, you got your main guy, Kendrick Perkins. Comes out and says that Shedeur Sanders is the most powerful black man since Barack Obama. We're gonna spend like very minimal minutes on this. That's nuts. That's.
I listened to what he was saying, and kind of the point that he was trying to get to is that among black people, Shedeur has a like majority of black people want him to succeed. They want him to just be successful, period. And there is a lot of white people who just don't want him to succeed, want to punish him for being arrogant or what have you. And so he is just pure and simple racially divisive guy.
I don't see it that way.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see it that way at all, honestly. I do attach it to Dion. That's where it started at. It started with attaching them to Dion. But now we're attaching them to a larger, like, racial divide. Because see, when you attach it to Dion, it's not about Dion being black and everybody's white. It's not about that. It's about Dion. You know what I mean? And the aura and the pache. Because what I think people who don't like Shedeur, and whether that's in the NFL circles and not, I think it has more to do with the brashness, with the arrogance, with the confidence that he has versus the production that he's had on the field. I don't think none of it has to do with this is a young black man and I don't want him to be quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. I find that to be impossible. I've heard that. I'm not saying
I started by summarizing what
Kendrick is trying to say.
Perkins is trying to say.
Yeah.
And that's why he brings Obama into this, in the sense that because he sees it as like a two-way thing where it's just you draw attention from black people who are supporting you. It simultaneously enrages white people that you're even in the position you're in. That's where he draws the Obama comparison. It doesn't go any further than that. Obviously, he's not trying to be president. And again, we're talking about Kendrick Perkins, who's essentially a simplistic-minded guy. I think it's very complicated. I do think that, the Dion thing, as flashy as he was, as a player, but also how he's kind of conducted himself as a coach as well. And this is also connected to Dion's failure as a coach. If Dion was, getting ready for the playoff and had, 3 great years, like, there's a little less comedy to this. You can't poke that much fun. You could dislike it, you could be whatever. But if he's winning at a high level, he's doing what he's hired to do. And it's tough to do it. And at some point, if Shedeur rises to the level of starting quarterback and consistently plays well, you kind of, your dislike of him or disrespect of him becomes really flimsy if the performance is there. When he had the first game when he came in as a substitute and it went pretty rough, like, yeah, God, he didn't look like he can do this, and it's kind of, and we talked just a couple weeks ago. I mean, from where the Sanders family was over a year ago to where they are now, with Dion losing a bunch of games, Shedeur, languishing on the bench, and Shiloh out of the league. It's been a tough 12 months as far as public performance goes for the Sanders family, and Dion's health. But when a guy plays well, when he came out and played well last week, you kind of have to just if you're gonna hate on that, like, that's more about you than him.
No, yeah, 100%. Yeah,
and if he strings together like some level of consistency and really matures into like a solid starting quarterback, again, the your persistent hate has more to do with you than it has to do with him.
Yeah, 1000%. Just for those out there, I'm just not buying the racial piece of that. But the funny thing is I am to a degree.
I definitely think it's an element.
I think white people are so over. They're so past the black quarterback thing.
It's not the black quarterback. Like, it's specific to him. Which goes.
Well, if it's specific to him, I don't think it's a black thing. It's because and let me make an example here. Because for me, it is a Shedeur thing.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm not rooting for him. I don't really care. I'm not a Browns fan. They've been bad pretty much my whole life anyway. But it's just like, come on, man. Like, after the game, I'm the one they've been looking for this whole time. I could do without all of that. I can. Now, if my face is white, then they're like, oh, you're racist. I think that's what people are doing. But if I'm going to be completely honest, I can do without that. I'm the one they've been looking for this whole time. Well, look what a whole week of practice can do. Like, come on, man, it's the fucking Raiders. This is the worst team in the fucking league. You know what I mean? Like, you had a 60-yard screen pass. I mean, it's not like, but yes, if my face is white, I'm a racist. I understand that. But for me, that's how I feel. I could do without that. Now, it don't bother me. I'm not hating them. I don't root against them or whatever. But it's just like, I could do without all that. And I can also see how that did derail him in the fucking draft. Oh, I don't need to come here. Oh, I don't need to do that test. I'm Shedeur. You see what I just did? I can see how, like, to me, it's common sense. It's not hate or racism. It's like, come on, kid. Just do the work and chill.
I agree with what you're saying, but I do think it's complicated. And I do think race is a piece. And I do think that, like, there is a narrative where when you have the active black father and the athlete, and it just rankles some people. Maybe not you, but others.
Okay, I think some of it's misguided.
May well be. We got a lot of stupid people out here. It's easy for them to get misguided, and that's my point. Yeah. If you look at him purely as a football product, none of this other stuff, like who his dad is, doesn't matter. And that's kind of like, I'm like, okay, where is the football product? Like, does he? To me, in most situations, the league sorts it out. Whether it's the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, soccer, it's like,
no, you said that before.
You play, and your level of play will sort out what you are in the league. It'll sort out whether you're a star, whether you're a solid starter, or you're a guy that maybe doesn't belong in the league for long. And so to me, it's ultimately about the play. And so we talked about this earlier on. It's like, is he going to get an opportunity? Well, now he has. And to his credit, after the really bad partial outing, he was solid. He had the one big throw, and then like you say, he got a 60-yard screen pass that broke the game open. He didn't hurt the team. But again, what do we do this week? That's what I'm looking for. What is the performance level this week?
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about this after the season or like close to. Yeah. Because I am super curious to know like what people will want Cleveland to do and then what Cleveland will do. Because they're going to have a decent draft pick. You got Deshaun, who's going to be coming off of injury. Okay. Even if Dylan is out of the picture, I wonder what will the answer be. Do you roll into next season with Shedeur? Now, a lot of that is going to depend on how the rest of the season looks. Now, they got the 49ers coming up this week. I mean, and the schedule, it looks nice. I mean, they had the Raiders, who are terrible. 49ers, injury plague, but that'll be a good win. I mean, the Cleveland Browns aren't a great team. So every win they can get is going to be a good win. But then you got the Tennessee Titans. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I mean, just take into an account, Dylan was going against the Patriots and the Lions.
But
it is what it is.
It's the performance.
It's the performance.
Do we see growth? Do we see progress? Do we see games where he just, plays him out of the game with 3 turnovers or whatever? If he's going to have the opportunity to start the remainder of the games,
the Tennessee game would be nice to see.
You almost have to start in the Tennessee game just because him and Ken Ward have a relationship.
You know what I mean?
And it'll be
no, yeah. Because it's 2 games. It's 2 weeks away. So barring injury, I'm sure he'll be the starter. I mean, I'd like to see that.
Yeah, but going back to the beginning of your point, you've got Deshaun under contract.
Yeah,
presumably will be healthy. He's kind of a mystery guy. You have a high pick. If there's a quarterback you like in this draft, you could use it on that.
Yeah.
Or if you're comfortable enough with Shedeur, you can move forward with him, and you still got Dylan Gabriel, who didn't play great, but what are you prepared to do with him? Is there a trade market for him? Or
is he a career backup?
Is he a career backup? Where you're going to kind of keep him no matter what and make some sort of decision in front of him as to who you're going to move forward with? Or do you release him?
And then you have quarterbacks that will most likely be on the market, like Kyler Murray and these other guys. You know what I mean? So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see, man. Like I say, I do want him to do well. I just can do without the foolishness. I'm just not a big foolishness guy. I don't know.
From a man wearing a robe at a podcast.
You're still on the bench podcast with Bubba and Pink, home of sports, music, and mayhem. All righty here. Before I want to get into the Thanksgiving Day games, but before I get into that, there was a report that came out today actually about Tom Brady. Now, of course, like I said, the Browns and Shedeur, they just beat the Raiders in the team that Tom Brady is a minority owner of, but he does have a strong hand in personnel, coaches and players. You know what I mean? He's the de facto GM. Now, a report came out that he is very upset about how things have gone and things haven't gone the right way, but they've just made wrong moves at every single turn. And it kind of goes back to the old adage of great players who go from on the court to the front office or on the field to the front office. They just haven't been able to put it together. Now, you first called the coach. All right. I was like, I don't know. Maybe not. You said you knew that the Pete Carroll hire was going to be a shit show.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
You didn't like it from the beginning.
Yeah.
That has gone bad. They
fired Chip Kelly.
They fired Chip. They brought Chip Kelly in, fired him. That hasn't worked out.
Which, I mean, honestly, the Chip Kelly hire really doesn't seem like that would have been a Brady decision. Because Chip Kelly had really wasn't successful as Eagles coach. Wasn't he out in San Francisco also failed fairly quickly?
I want to say.
Tom Brady's an NFL guy. He was in the NFL for 20 plus years, and Chip Kelly's not a guy that succeeded in the NFL. I have a very difficult time believing that Tom Brady had a lot of confidence in or endorsed hiring Chip Kelly.
He did. The same article said he did because he
did have confidence in him?
Not confident. I mean, he hired him. He was a part of that process who brought him in.
Really? That's shocking.
Yeah, because also what I didn't know also what I read in that article is that the GM that Tom Brady brought in and hired is Tom Brady's friend and old roommate. So they collabed together and brought Chip Kelly in. I don't even know his name, but
well, then that proves your point. Tom Brady has no business running an NFL franchise.
Yeah, I mean, unless he could turn it around. I mean, it's still time. It's early.
If that's the decision that you go with, if that's your first hire's offensive coordinator, that's a disaster.
Yeah, and it has been a disaster.
Right. He's not qualified.
Yeah.
Might as well be a black basketball GM.
And I gotta know that's my stick, but yeah. But yeah. So that's what's been going on now.
I'm shocked by that.
Yeah.
That he went with Chip Kelly. That's crazy.
Yeah. Now maybe
I wouldn't hire Chip Kelly to wipe somebody else's ass.
To me, I labeled Chip as just a college guy. Like after the Eagles stint, I was like, maybe he should just.
But then
stick it out
he went and got the UCLA job, and he failed there.
I know. But still,
he's a guy. He's not much better than Brian Kelly. Mm-hmm. They share the same last name. But
they're cousins.
NFL guys rip the shit out of him.
Out of BK, yeah.
Oh no, Chip Kelly.
Oh, out of Chip. Okay. Well, the players. The players. Yeah. I remember the running back. Yeah. I remember.
Yeah, LaShawn
McCoy.
Yeah. And the receiver who's doing the college job now, Deshaun Jackson.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of this guy, they
that time with the Eagles.
They hate him.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even like, I wasn't a big fan. They hate him.
Yeah.
And that's the reaction Brian Kelly had. And then, I just don't think he's a good, personable guy. And I don't think he connects well with people.
That's what I took away from it.
And he went out to UCLA, and he had the NFL pedigree. He had the prior success at Oregon, and did nothing at UCLA. Was genuinely bad. Now he had the 1 year last year at Ohio State when they had, a team of NFL players on offense. Really hard to figure that out.
Really hard to figure that out. No, that's a great point though, because as I'm reading it, I'm not really like attaching my brain to the Chip Kelly piece.
Yeah.
I more so was taken back by the GM call. Now, I don't know that guy's pedigree, but just the fact that you're bringing in a guy that was your old roommate, it's like the buddy pal system. It's like you're not really trying to improve the team. You're trying to help your network. That's how I took it. And then, I don't know, maybe Tom has a relationship with Chip somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, they were never in the same place at the same time, to my knowledge, so I don't think so. My thing, though, like on its face, like the roommate thing, if the guy was like, okay.
If he has a pedigree.
Yeah, if the guy was like trading stocks and doing financial investments for the last 20 years, and then,
it's
Tom hits him up,
to
hey,
that.
how about G-Man? That's egregious. That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But honestly, like if you have a roommate and like, Tom Brady's a pretty obsessive guy. Like I'm imagining if you're his roommate, you're probably spending a lot of evenings like talking football, watching film, what have you. And if you kind of, realized even back then that you guys had, similar views on the game or something like that, and you've maintained a relationship and the guy has been involved in football in some capacity, I'm not ready to just say, well, that's really terrible hire. But I would want to know that. I mean, but again, if this guy had developed a decent career doing something completely unrelated to football, and then Tom's kind of bringing him out of the office to come do this, that's a little strange.
You know what he fell victim to is the thing that we talk about a lot too, is everything he bought in was old and used up.
Yeah, for
Pete
sure.
Carroll, Geno Smith, Chip Kelly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You bring in all these old and used up guys for the main pieces. You know what I mean? The engine, the transmission, the fucking oil, everything was like 1940s, used up and old. Like how long? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and I feel like when you take over a team like the Raiders, who's been so bad for so long, why not find the next? Like try to go out, lose, trying to find the next, generational coach, that young guy who has a lot of energy and these innovative ideas offensively. Like lose with him. You know what I mean? Take a chance like that. Draft a guy, trade up in a draft or draft a young quarterback.
Yeah, you'll roll with the young quarterback.
You know what I mean? And things like that. Go with the young OC that was whatever, the quarterback's coach in Philly or something. You know what I mean? But so I think he fell victim to that. A lot of people in sports, a lot of teams in sports do that. We hate that.
Yeah, no, I agree with that for sure. No, that's a good thing. But yeah, I mean, I'm just shocked he picked Chip Kelly. Like that's really a lack of respect or a loss of respect on my part for him as a front office guy.
Let's see where he goes next. Let's see. I mean, there's a vacancy there. We'll see. And let's see if Pete Carroll lasts, to next year.
Yeah, I mean, Pete's in his 70s.
He's what, 74, I think they said?
Yeah, I mean,
this is his first year though, right?
Yeah, first year.
So do you think he makes it to year two?
No, I wouldn't. I think you need even though you're early in the project, you need a hard reset.
Yeah.
Around Brock Bowers, Genty.
Yeah.
See, I'm comfortable with Max Crosby being bought in, but you need a hard reset with the younger guys. Find a younger quarterback.
Yeah.
And a coach. Just it hasn't gone well.
Yeah.
There's nothing you could say that you got accomplished this year as the Raiders. You didn't build any momentum. You didn't develop any players. It's just been shit all year long. And if you run it back with the same guy, what expectation is there it's going to be any different? So I think a hard reset, give Pete his walking papers and put him out to pasture. Find a younger quarterback to move forward with.
No, seriously.
Instead of the Geno thing, they would have been better with Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Going with a younger guy.
Yeah.
It's worked out very well for Seattle.
Yeah.
So really, so if this is Tom Brady making these shots, he's not doing himself any favors.
Yeah. All right. On to Thanksgiving. The biggest game on Thanksgiving is the Chiefs versus the Cowboys. This is reportedly going to be the most viewed game in NFL history.
More than any Super Bowl?
The regular season, I apologize.
Oh, okay.
And of course, this is all anticipation. Of course, the game has to come, and we'll see where the numbers go from there. Yeah. But yeah, that's what they're anticipating for the regular season. A couple of storylines coming out of this. One huge one is like they feel like this is the battle for America's team, because if they feel like the Chiefs has been gaining steam these last couple of years to be the America's team. Of course, Dallas has been my entire life. My quick take on that is, I don't think a team will ever supplant Dallas as America's team, at least in my lifetime. I just don't think that's possible, because yes, the Chiefs are very popular. They're on all the fucking, main days now. But if you take Mahomes out, if Mahomes come out tomorrow and just says, I retire, then the Chiefs, they go back into pasture,
Yeah.
Dallas, whether they're bad, whether they're good, whether they're average, they're always on the scene. They're always talked about. They're always in the news. Jerry, he knows that he's elite at that. And so I think that's why they will always remain the Cowboys. I mean, the America's team. What do you think about that?
I think America's team, the notion and concept of it is like a self-parody at this point. Like when America's team became America's team, it was when the Cowboys were one of the top teams in the league. They were always sort of successful. They kind of had this like, they kind of had an aura to them.
Mystique.
Like the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders were a thing, and they had, stars and really good teams. Through the Jerry Jones post Jimmy Johnson era, it's almost like a joke. It's like, here's this random team.
It's become a sideshow.
Yeah, you force down our throats every year. You've got this goofy owner that says dumb stuff. They're always swinging for the fences in the, free agent trade market, whatever they could do. But the product hasn't been there for coming on 29 years now.
Yeah.
That's the reality of the Dallas Cowboys. And so I've never looked at them I've looked at America's team as a self-parody. It's a joke.
Yeah.
It has no meaning whatsoever.
No substance.
Yeah. The Chiefs, though, like their parallel is the Patriots.
Yeah.
And we really felt it intensely approaching the Super Bowl last year and through the Super Bowl. They are so successful that people get sick of them. People just want to see them lose because they lose. And to be fair, like you could go back to a distant period of Cowboy history, probably the 70s and into the 80s, where people were sick of the Cowboys.
People felt that way? Okay.
And they wanted the Cowboys to lose just because they're the goddamn Cowboys. I mean, if you recall, like Dwight Clark, the catch, I don't know if you're familiar with that play.
Yeah, that's
playoff game,
a while ago, yeah.
49ers against the Cowboys. Joe Montana hits Dwight Clark in the end zone on a high catch. Okay. And that, like, people were happy for the Cowboys to get knocked off their pedestal. that was like the rise of the 49ers. And they were the Joe Montana, Jerry Rice 49ers. That's where that started, with that play, that catch.
Oh, wow.
And the feeling and the emotion of it was like, yeah, screw the Cowboys. I love to see them lose. Let's see what these new guys got.
Okay.
The new guys got to be pretty damn good.
Yeah.
But the Cowboy mystique is it's a joke. But when you are a legitimate top team in the league who's kind of there every year and wins more than people are comfortable with, you get the hate that the Patriots and the Cowboys before them and the Chiefs have dealt with.
100%.
Now, the Chiefs having a slow season,
yeah,
and kind of not getting a good start, to me, it's taken a lot of pressure off the Chiefs.
Yeah.
They're not, every week the topic of this. That they're a little bit removed from that, which, again, they've got to play better football, but, they've got a chance. Won last week. Now they're over 500. Maybe win tomorrow. And you start to build a little late season momentum to secure a playoff spot, which they don't have at the moment. That's the story there. Do the Chiefs actually stumble onto something, or do they play badly tomorrow? Go back to 500, and what are we looking at?
Yeah, they're going to be missing some key offensive linemen. That doesn't help.
Yeah.
And, this season has been very weird in a sense of you got the suspension with Rice. You got some injuries. You got a guy mourning a funeral for 4 weeks. It's been very weird, and the defense is not what it was the last couple of years.
And the offense, like the offense hasn't come through like it has in the past. There's been a couple of these
moments.
Losses have been close.
Yeah.
And it's, the Denver 2 weeks ago was like, I think they had a lead and they lose the lead in the fourth quarter to Bo freaking Nix. I mean, this is just not what you're accustomed to.
No, not at all. So, we had a year like this 2 years ago. It was like, I thought it was going to be a down year. They ended up making it to the Super Bowl and winning it. But, so I don't know. I don't know what to expect in this game or for the rest of the season as a Chiefs fan. But, we're kind of like, me personally, it's like I can sit back. It's such a different experience in watching like the Kansas City Chiefs and like the Philadelphia 76ers. When I watch the Chiefs, I can just sit back and chill and relax. We've been so like good. They've been so good to me. I'm okay if they just fucking lose out. You know what I mean?
Really?
I'll find solace in getting a decent draft pick and whatever. Yeah, I'm okay. You know what I mean? I'm fine. You guys, I'm fine. Because another reality to this though is, we're on the back nine of Kelsey and Jones. Kelsey, he doesn't have that long on his contract. I think it's like a year or two. Just a year. Jones, though, we just gave a massive contract to. Now, he showed some moments, some flashes in this last game, but this is such a down year from him. I don't know if it's a down year or it's because he's on the wrong side of 30. If it's because he's on the wrong side of 30, we're going to be fucked for a while. Because we just gave him like a shit ton of money. He's like a top 3 paid defensive player in the league, and so that's going to be rough. I'm keeping my eye on that. But outside of that, it's like whatever. Now, for Dallas, it's interesting. Dallas Cowboys, they were dead. Then they've won a few games. Now they're live. They have a chance. They have opportunity.
That really big comeback against Philly last week.
Big comeback against Philly.
21-0 and find a way to win that game.
Yeah. The defense has come to life.
You just did that Sunday. 5 days later, do you kind of still have that spark
that
and
juice
that
and
feeling from that type of win? I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. They're at home.
And Jerry's not looking too bad after the Parsons trade. Now, that was one thing I actually took up for him.
Well, the Parsons trade, and then the other move that I was very critical of is the Pickens. And Pickens
in
has
the
been
beginning.
very good.
No, and I was with you on that.
Very
And
good.
I didn't think that Pickens was going to be able to keep his cool over there.
Yeah.
But not only he's been able to keep his cool, he's been like very, very good.
Yeah, for sure.
But the Parsons trade it has worked out. And like I said, the defense is playing much better. So yeah, that's going to be a really good game. Now the other one is the Bengals and Ravens. They're going to play.
There's 3 games tomorrow.
Yeah, they play the night game.
Have the nightcap.
For me, that's like the second, most interesting game because you get Joe coming back. Now the storyline there is people are saying, "Hold up, Joe. Maybe you should sit out for the rest of the year because it's kind of over for the Bengals." It's not technically over. They have like a 5% chance or something as far as ESPN analytics. But it's like, maybe you should. Joe is like, man, if I'm healthy to play, I'm going to play. And there's a small chance for us to make it. So, shit, I'm healthy. It's a small chance. What are we doing here? Why am I going to sit out? He addressed that today.
Yeah, I stand with Joe. If you're a competitor, if you're a player, you want to play.
Yeah.
If you've been hurt for however many weeks
it's been a while, right?
If you're a real player, that's been pissing you off.
Yeah.
That you're not playing. And so you're cleared? Yeah, I'm playing. It should never be a question. Just the weird world of load management guys and general pussies, that's what they're into.
Yeah.
That's maybe we should sit down, maybe protect the bag, whatever.
Yeah.
Nah, man, this is about playing. If you're healthy, you go.
That's it. That's it. And Lamar and the Ravens, they've been, the offense, they've been winning, but the offense hasn't been looking good.
No.
And so they're thinking, Lamar's still dinged up, but he's out there playing. He hasn't been running. He hasn't had any since he's been back. He hasn't had any games over like 50 yards rushing or anything. He hasn't been running. And the running aspect, when you take Lamar is a really good fucking quarterback, damn good, MVP, all of that, and they have these funny money stats that says he's like, the best throwing quarterback of all time. But it's like, again, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you watch the games, and you understand that's not Lamar. Okay. If you take the running away from Lamar and you make him a pure 1,000%, he's an average Joe back there. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And that hasn't been going well for the Ravens offensively, but they have been winning. The defense has been playing a lot better. We'll see, man. We'll see what they could do against the Bengals on Thursday night.
He is at his core a dual threat quarterback.
Yeah.
And when you are a genuine dual threat quarterback, you put very different pressure on a defense.
Bingo.
And when you play a stretch of games and you appear unwilling to run, reluctant to run, you allow defenses to now play you as a single threat quarterback. And that changes. It changes the looks you're getting from a coverage standpoint, looks you're getting from a blitzing perspective. I mean, Cam Newton at his peak was the same way. Like his running style was different, but like teams had to play simplified coverages against him because he could just, break off significant runs whenever he needed to if you were gonna play a certain way. And that's the deal. Like he's been the great player that he's been because he leverages the dual threat. And if he's not going to do that, he becomes very ordinary despite what the magical stats say.
Yeah. And then what's the last one we got? The Lions.
The Lions and the Packers, which, I mean, honestly, it's like probably the two better teams.
Yeah.
Two best teams of the weekend,
Yeah.
And there's just something unappealing about watching the Packers play. They're very good defensively. I just can't get excited about their offense at all.
Yeah.
They're a good team, but they just don't do much for me from a watching standpoint. Whereas I do really enjoy the Lions. I love watching Gibbs play. I love watching that offense operate. So I'll be rooting for the Lions, but it's almost kind of like one of those ones where it's just like, God, if the Packers have the ball, like, is there anything else on?
1,000%. No, but I never looked at it from that aspect. I just look at it from I just don't believe in the Packers at all.
Yeah.
Just like at all. But there's something off with the Lions this year. It's just something off. Now they have a really good team. They have a few games to put it together and gel it out for the rest of the year and go into the playoffs. They have the pieces in play, and I love the coach. Of course we do. But there's something, and I don't know. I couldn't tell you anything about it, but it's something off. They're not the same team from last season. And what do you see in that? What do you?
I mean, the Giants were up and in command in most of that game, and the Giants aren't a really good team, but the Lions had a hard time stopping the Giants, and getting 3 and outs and stuff like that. I don't think that defense is as strong. At the end of last year, they were just devastated by injuries across the board.
Right.
I don't think the injuries are to that level, but I just don't think that defense is performing at the defense does not play at a Super Bowl contending level.
Okay.
And so the offense is still there, but the games feel sloppier because you're not kind of getting that complementary football where offense is explosive, get up on a team. The other team now is like kind of has to pass and throw it around. You rear your head back, get sacks, pressures, interception. It's just not working that way.
Yeah.
Because I just don't think that defense is good enough. And like again, you get out there and let the Giants get out in front of you all day, and you're chasing the Giants. That's just not the ideal way to play championship football.
Yeah. Okay, I like that.
And I'm not a huge Dan Campbell guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think he had, particularly Ben Johnson, what he's done with Chicago. He had an awesome offensive coordinator.
You better believe
and I
it.
think he's like, Dan is like this rah spirit guy, and he's kind of good at that. But I think he's kind of an impulsive guy. I don't think he's the brightest guy, and I don't think he's a great coach. I think he's good.
Mm. Okay. Yeah, because he just took over the offensive play calling as of last week or something like that. I remember that was big news. Yeah, we'll see. Now, are you all in on the Rams?
I love the Rams.
Yeah, that's sort of the team right now in the NFC side.
Yeah. I mean, just
now they play complementary football too.
Yeah, Stafford is just I mean,
He's on another level right
absolute
now.
heater, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they just demolished the Bucks last week.
Yeah.
You felt bad for the Bucks, and then defensive. I mean, like, and again, Stafford's playing, but they have a running game with Williams. They have these great receivers, and then defensively, they've got a lot of young guys flying around. 2 Florida State defenders on that group.
Yeah.
Cam Kitchens from the UM is playing great, and then that one corner, kind of long, skinny guy, I guess he's a former first-round pick for a different team. He was blanketing dudes.
Yeah.
And it's just, and they have a great energy. And I really do. I think Sean McVay is one of the better coaches in the league. I'm a big believer in him. I think he's very clever, very smart.
No, he's one of the ones.
And maximizes that team. So I love what I'm seeing out of them.
Yeah. No. Love the Rams. Can't wait to, sometimes I just want to fast forward to the playoffs. Now, last year, I was in on the Rams, and they just had a tough draw in a bad weather game against the Eagles. You know what I mean?
They were the most competitive game the Eagles had.
You know what I mean?
Like, that game went down to the end.
Yeah.
And on the road, everything that would be anti-Ram
everything
was in place in that game, and they still kept it, having a chance into the final minute or two. And and I do think, like, somehow with that core of guys that they have, they took that. Like they feel we were a minute away. Yeah. And they're playing like that now.
100%. Now it appears to be that all roads are going to lead through, Los Angeles Rams, and that's trouble for the rest of the team. I mean, that team at home that's a bear.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
You just kind of get out. I mean, like the Eagles. The record is good, but you just feel the friction. A.J. Brown's not always on board. Jalen Hurts hasn't been great. That we just talked about, the Lions are good, but they're a little off. You and I, neither one of us big Packer guys.
No.
And then
Seattle. That's my
another one that you look at,
sneaky team.
But
and then the Bears. But this is not the year for the Bears as far as like beating the Rams for the Super Bowl.
You don't see them winning that type of game.
No.
So that's it. The Bucs will probably make the playoffs based on the crumminess of their division.
it's been like that for a while.
But again, you saw what that looks like against the Rams last week.
Hold on, that's the Bucs, the Saints,
Panthers,
and
Falcons, right?
Man.
That's some bad teams.
Just some bad and every year the Falcons give me because I be wanting to put the Falcons where I put like the Seahawks. I have the Seahawks as my sneaky team. It's a good team, solid team. And every year I'll start off with the Falcons too because it looks good. It looks and appears and sounds good.
They never recover from 28-3.
They just never have.
I don't think they have. It broke the franchise.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
Because they have the pieces, man. They have some horses over there, man. One of the best running backs in the game. They have a receiving core.
Yeah.
Offensive line.
But that's another team. It just doesn't connect. I mean, Penix when he was in was really inconsistent.
Yeah, inconsistent. He's been very inconsistent.
Now he's hurt. You got Kirk Cousins, and we know what he's about. Utter mediocrity. I've never felt excited about the Falcons. The Falcons, they've been bad long enough that like they have to show me. They have to prove it. It's like maybe we get like next year and they're 8-3 or something, and they have a couple good wins and they really look like they have a good. And then I'll be like, yeah, maybe the Falcons are onto something. But short of that, nah, not buying it. Not buying it.
All right. Well, speaking of Thanksgiving. Okay, what I wanted to do was sort of give out like my top 4 or 5 Thanksgiving foods. All right, now here goes the thing. I'm only talking about foods that I've consumed. So we're talking about Black Thanksgiving.
Never been to White Thanksgiving?
So I never had the bean casserole. I've never had it. So I so. To be fair, I want to make sure I put that out there so you won't.
So if this feels a little skewed, you know why.
You know why. All right. Now, coming in at number 4, I have dressing. I think dressing is super underrated. And all of these are under the pretense of, it's the best version of it. Okay, so it's good.
But it's dressing. I mean, it's just kind of like a topping. It's not really like a thing, is it?
Oh, dressing is a food, man. It's a side dish. Yes.
But
dressing at black.
Do you just pull up a big spoon and shovel dressing?
No. Dressing, man. You need a spoon. You need a fork. Some people eat it with cranberry. Some people
dressing.
Yeah. We call it dressing. It might be another word for it.
Yeah,
you might be thinking
about the different.
Yeah.
Different. Yeah. Dressing is something you put on top of
like a salad. That's what you're thinking about, right?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
I gotta get you a plate, man.
Probably won't eat it.
Man, you're missing out.
Nah.
You're missing out.
I'll say this. My job, they're very gracious. They basically on Monday for lunch provided just a traditional spread of the Thanksgiving stuff, like turkey, ham, what is it? It's kind of like Jell-O but thicker. It's like
cranberry,
cranberries. It's like all this stuff. I had 5 chicken strips from Chick-fil-A and a piece of bread. I didn't touch any of the stuff.
But I'm gonna be honest with you, I wouldn't either.
Yeah.
I have to trust and know the cook. You know what I mean? I have to know what's going on. Because Thanksgiving food can be pretty bland depending on who's making it and what's going on. Okay. But I'm saying dressing, if it's made right, is really good. Now,
do you have a picture of this dressing that
I'll get it to you.
All right, send it to me after the show. I need context here.
Now, coming in number 3, I have the turkey. Okay, now, here goes the thing about turkey. Most turkeys you eat going to be dry, going to be bland. You can only eat it for a day or two. Even 2 is stretching it. But I'm telling you, man, Black Thanksgiving, these folks have the fried turkey, the juiciest thing you ever want to have, man. You got people that got the jerk turkey. They jerking the turkeys now, man. You ever had a jerk turkey? That jerk turkey is awesome. 5, 10 stars I'm talking about here.
5 or 10.
You know what I mean? They got these different things. Curry turkey. These are not the bland turkeys you're getting up out of Publix, man. I'm talking about Black Thanksgiving turkey. Fried, jerk, curry, all of this stuff, man. You got to have it. It's awesome. But it's still only, number 3. Okay? But it's a main staple, of course, Thanksgiving. You got to have the turkey. Without the turkey, you don't have nothing. Coming in number 2, collard greens, man. Collard greens. Now, collard greens is something I would try at probably 90% of Thanksgivings. It's hard to mess up collard greens. I hate when some people they make it sweet. I don't like the sweet collard greens. I don't want sugar in my greens. Some people do that, but man, some good collard greens go a long way, man.
Go a long way.
I'm coming back 2 or 3 times.
For real?
Oh man.
Wow.
Because it's not only is it good, but it's good for you.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Coming in at number 1 is the mac and cheese, man. Mac and cheese at a Black Thanksgiving, it's caviar. It's lobster. It's the top. It's the Don Dada. It's very important. The person who's making the mac and cheese, they're the bloodline. They're the engine of Thanksgiving. Everything runs through them. You know what I mean?
They're the point guard.
They're the point guard of Thanksgiving. Okay. Whoever is making the mac and cheese. Mac and cheese is the number 1 best dish at a Black Thanksgiving.
So in your family, is there somebody that is known as being the mac and cheese person?
That's a tricky question. My family is so spread out now, but my particular social section of family that are going to be getting together on Thursday, Morgan and Shanique. They're a mother-daughter combo there.
Okay.
I'll take them 2 along with my pops. I'll take them 3 on the road, and
against all comers.
I'm prepared. I'm fully prepared. You're talking about 3 people who you talking about anything. My dad got all the wild stuff: raccoons, possums, anything on the grill. You want a good ribs and chicken, all of that. So he got all the wild stuff, and he got the grill. All of that, we on the road. And then the Shanique Morgan combo, anything on that stove, nobody messing with them. And you think I'm lying, ask me for a plate. They might charge you though. But yeah.
There's literally not a single piece of Thanksgiving food that I enjoy.
Nothing I named?
Nothing. I wouldn't touch anything.
You would eat some mac and cheese.
No,
That's a
no,
simple dish.
I don't.
That's not even attached to Thanksgiving.
No, I don't eat mac and cheese.
You just don't eat mac and cheese.
No, it's just too messy for me.
What about greens?
I don't eat fruits or vegetables.
See, and that's what's cheating about
sure
it.
Don't eat anything green.
Greens don't even like appear to be a vegetable. That's what's cheating
green.
about it. Yeah, I know. That's the whatever. They sell green ketchup now. I mean,
I
it's like,
oh God! Wait, are you? When you were talking about dressing,
yeah,
would that also be known as stuffing or no?
Okay, there you go. Yes,
that's the
yes. That's the same
stuff. Okay,
there you go.
So
that's
we
another word for it.
Okay.
We sorted that out.
Okay. Yeah, I'm familiar with don't touch it either. No, like literally my Thanksgiving will like I picked up a platter of Chick-fil-A strips. Mm-hmm. That's gonna be what I eat.
You're saying that's what you're doing. That's what you've done in the past.
My house. No, I picked them up today. That's what's going to be happening at my house.
Oh my God.
Yeah. In the past,
yeah,
like I'll grill steak.
That's a little better.
Or we've ordered Comedies.
Okay.
Or there was a brief period where we're doing not mac and cheese, but baked ziti.
Baked ziti.
Yeah. So
okay. Yeah, baked ziti. I know baked ziti.
All non-traditional items for Thanksgiving.
I know baked ziti.
Yeah. So, but I don't do any of the traditional foods.
So Ebony says yes, dressing with gravy is everything. Collard greens, she's loving it. And then she says, I'm the queen of mac and cheese. That's a big statement, Eb.
But I was gonna say, you see where they have like barbecue competitions?
Yeah.
Like, why don't they have a mac and cheese competition?
They should.
Because there are a lot of people that take a lot of pride in their mac and cheese.
It is, man.
I really think there should be more competitions.
You might be creating a new lane.
Yeah, I think it should happen.
Yeah.
We should have the on the bench of Bubba and Pink mac and cheese cook-off.
Competition. Yeah.
That would be dope.
That would be. Might have to look into that.
Yeah, because I mean, like it is like people really declare themselves. They're the person.
No, that's good stuff.
I like that.
I love that idea. All right. Let's go from high to a low here. All right. Back to sports. College football are not weekly, but whatever. Florida Gators, Florida State Seminoles, Miami Hurricanes. We'll save the Hurricanes for last here. Let me before we get to the Gators, I want to get into Florida State because what was that, about a week ago? I think I was coming off the cruise and I had a Bleacher Report thing come up. You guys are going to keep the coach Mike Norvell into next year. I know you saw that.
Yeah, that was after the Saturday game.
Okay.
So maybe it was Sunday or Monday.
There you go.
So yeah, there had been, particularly after we lost on the road at Stanford.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people that's like, this is not acceptable. Norvell's got to go. Has to happen. We can't tolerate this. And then you're kind of like going down the back end of the schedule, and you're like, well, heck, you still had a chance, I think, at that point to maybe go 7-5 if you ran the table, maybe even 8-4. And you're thinking, well, if he does that, and you play pretty well, probably does enough to get himself another year. But this motherfucker goes out there and loses these games, and now we're 5-6.
But have the guys laid down? Or is it more Mike just mailing it in the coaching staff?
To me, it's just very complicated. Like
okay.
if you look at it, you're 5-6. You're going to Gainesville this weekend on the road to try to win a game and become bowl eligible in 500. I don't think the team has laid down in the sense that there's just zero effort. The games have become almost painful. Like, I mean, you go back to Virginia, we're up 21-7 2.5 minutes to go in the first half. We let up a tying touchdown. We don't score coming out of the half. We go to Miami plays us 28-3. We're down. Looks like you should roll over and die. Somehow they get something going and make it a one-score game at the end. Then I go to the game. We're at Pitt. We're up 24-14 to 21-14 at the half. We get the ball to start the half near midfield. We go 3 and out. They score. We fall behind. We lose the game. These are all like, couple sequences.
Yeah.
Then you go on the road to Stanford, and like you kind of got like low-key dominated, but they didn't score a lot. And our quarterback gets concussed. And late in the game, with the backup quarterback, we have a miraculous catch, we have a pass interference, and we have a run at the goal line to maybe tie this or go for 2. Arguably he was in, but it was just a crazy finish to an otherwise completely uninspiring game. And then you come and you win a game at home. I think it was Wake Forest. You go to Clemson, you turn the ball over, you just make all these mistakes, and then you win a game. And then you go on the road to NC State. And again, it's a mistake-a-thon. We had a sequence where North Carolina, this is at the time, I believe, a one-score game. And North Carolina State punts us the ball. It's a short punt. It hits the helmet of a Florida State player who is kind of in a blocking posture, not like a catch-the-punt posture. It rolls back towards North Carolina, side of the field. We give chase. They get the ball. Just a fluke.
Like that, stuff like that.
Defense gets a stop. They punt again. Our punt returner's down about the 10, 11-yard line. Drops the fucking thing.
Yikes.
They get it. They
Score, of course.
On a 4th down.
Oh, wow.
When they were up, at this time, they're up 14-11. So they had a 4th and goal, 3-yard line, chance to kick a field goal. You go up 6, but we'd have a chance to go down and score and win. They ball up, go for it on 4th down, score. Game's over. Nice. It's just like the way these games. There's almost a cruelty in how you've lost.
It is.
Games.
That is.
It is. But like the players are playing, they just suck. They just suck. Like you are terrible at situational football.
That's
like
what it
anything
is.
That's momentum shifting, you fuck it up.
And that typically falls back on a coach when you're talking about situational football.
And that's the thing, the situational football. Like, what are we, like, what is he doing or not doing? It's, the team's bad situationally, But again, like the punt things, the first one was a little fluky. The second, like, guy's got to catch that punt. That's why you're back there. That's not... The coach can't catch it for you.
Yeah.
There's other things along the way, decisions to go for it or not go for it that, coaching. But my feeling is there's just such collective failure associated with Mike Norvell. And you can't get the stink off this shit.
So what do you think went into them saying we're going to run it back with him another year?
2 things.
Fairly kind of early, I guess.
Yeah, 2 things. And I don't like either one. Number one, there's been a lot of talk that we don't have the finances to cut him loose. And so you basically can't afford to fire a guy, so you're stuck keeping him.
Yikes.
I had a conversation with Sarv last night, and he's more involved in kind of the message boards and the booster chatter and that sort of stuff. What he was saying is that they're doing an internal revamp of the football program, and what that really, the focus of that is creating a true general manager in an NFL style, where the general manager is in charge of procuring the talent, not necessarily Norvell or the coach.
Or the coaching staff.
I mean, it collaborates. We like this guy, we don't like that guy.
Right.
But the general manager is supposedly going to be like a football guy that can evaluate talent and determine who we focus on getting and who we don't, in the hopes of upgrading the talent on the roster. And then the idea is that's kind of where they're going to spend their energy and time, and that Norvell will, get another year to see if he can work in that system. But the other interesting facet is Gus Malzahn. I know he was in the Arkansas job. I think somebody got that today.
Yeah.
So, but he was given some real sort of coy answers about whether he'll be around in the future. And Tony White, the defensive coordinator, who's caught a lot of heat, but the team has played better last couple weeks. He's potentially a candidate for the UCLA job. I think he played there. And he's also been a little kind of vague and coy about what his intentions are. So you could have the reality of Florida State football is you're too broke to fire your coach, so you bring him back. You have to replace both coordinators again, which you just did last year.
Back-to-back years.
And then you have this thing where you're going to bring in this general manager and try and kind of restructure how you recruit and procure players. And that's Florida State going forward. Is that exciting? Hell no. There's just not. I mean, there's nothing about that, you know.
And that sounds like that it's going to take a little while. It doesn't sound like something that's going to impact next season.
Which, again, if that's the case, like, why are we sticking with Mike another year? Like, it's just one more year further away from getting improved.
Yeah.
So I'm not happy with any of it.
Yeah.
I'm not, you know, I think it's really a shit show. And I think you're going to continue to suffer from a talent perspective, largely because of the ACC. Like, you know, all the big things going on, it's Big Ten, SEC. Really, you know, I mean, in a lot of ways, Big Ten
has been doing
SEC.
Yeah,
they've won the last two titles, and that got a strong chance for a third. So yeah, I do not have high hopes for the program. I think it's really almost like accepting a backseat status, which is kind of miserable in that regard. And another wild thing though, like, so, and this did since November 1st, with Norvell's job kind of teetering, somehow we got 5 commitments of guys, which I don't understand it.
Yeah.
And then they got a JUCO defensive end committed today. Now, none of this is final until they sign.
Yeah.
But just really weird. Like, when your coach's job is
in the
literally
balance.
in the balance, why are people committing?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on there? So somebody's selling somebody some shit. Like, I don't, you know, out of the back of a trunk or something. It's just very strange. But the other thing is like, we have had this situation. This has gone on, like, I think back to, like, basically Willie Taggart, where when we get a commitment from a guy who's a 5-star, almost automatically at the next review cycle, he's downgraded to a 4.
I wonder why.
It's shady as fuck.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. But it's happened enough that it's noticeable.
Wow.
It's really, really weird.
I got to keep my eye on that.
Yeah. It's crazy. There was 2 guys that were, when they committed to us, a linebacker and a DB, within this, you know, football season, were identified as 5 stars, and now they're both identified as 4 stars.
4 stars.
That's just.
I wonder if they open their recruitment back up and try to go somewhere else. If they'll go back to a 5.
Right. That'd be the thing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why. That's all I mean.
Yeah, if they decommit and then sign with Ohio State, are they back to being 5 stars?
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That I mean, that's a high level bullshit. If that's what's going on.
That's
I mean, I don't understand why that would be, but like and who cares?
You know what I mean?
Like who really cares? But it's happened enough that it's like a noticeable thing. It's like, what are we doing? But on the bottom end of that, like, the funny thing is like, I've heard, and I don't know this to be true, but I've heard that, like, so you could be an unrated guy, but the minute you get like a Division I offer, you almost automatically go to 3 stars. So you could be like a 0, 1, 2-star guy, and then whatever, it could be North Carolina State, it could
Bowling
be
Green.
Bowling Green. Suddenly you're 3 stars. Like, I don't know. It's really, I've heard about this, but again, it may not be 100% true, but it's pretty peculiar.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you this. In all my years of being a fan, of watching sports, of predicting sports, betting, all of this, I've never been more wrong on a team than this Florida Gators team. I've never been more wrong. I was fooled and bamboozled to the degree of, I questioned myself. Am I just a fucking idiot? I don't know, because I did not see this from this team. Now, when I asked you about your team, this Gators team have laid the fuck down. There's no fight in them. they're just out there to be out there.
But I've said this though, like I thought a couple weeks ago they were just dead, and then they played Georgia super hard, and then it's like, and then right after that it's like then they just go dead again. Like I don't, and that's why like from a Florida State fan going into Saturday's game, like I don't know. If you show up like you did against Georgia, you probably roll us. But if you show up like you did against Kentucky or Tennessee, I think we got a good chance to win.
As far as the game, it's a rivalry game. It's hard for me to. I don't know. I don't know what Gators team is going to show up. If they're going to show up at all, literally.
You know what this whole situation is reminiscent of? When you and I watched the Gators and Seminoles play at 4th Street that year, a couple years ago. Because you guys came into that game with interim coach. We came in with Mike having a little bit of momentum, but we still weren't good. And then we just had this really weird slop fest game. I think we had a chance late to maybe do something, but we didn't have enough, and you guys won the game.
Yeah. I'm so uninterested in that game. I forgot they were even fucking playing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just completely wrong. But now you have, of course, this whole saga surrounding the coaching situation.
Before we get into that, I do want to mention one other thing that's really poor for Norvell in my mind.
Okay.
We've not won a road game in 2 full years. We've not won a road game in 2 full years.
For real?
Last year we were 2-10. Both wins came at home. This year we're 5-6. We're 5-1 at home. 0-5 on the road.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
And we've also dropped 2 Friday night games this year. So any time that Mike Norvell's team in the last 20 plus games has 22 games, 23 games, the last 23 games, anytime we have played a football game that wasn't on a Saturday in Tallahassee, we've lost.
That is interesting.
It's pathetic.
That's a stat.
It's genuinely pathetic.
And this, where is this game coming up at Saturday?
In Gainesville.
It's in Gainesville.
So if for nothing else, like for us to remain perfectly incompetent on the road, we'll probably find a way to lose.
That would be it's tough to say, but you lose to this Gators team, they should reconsider keeping him on for another year.
They should reconsider it anyway.
But yeah, we have this whole Lane Kiffin saga, and a lot of people are kind of frustrated with Lane and that how that's going with Ole Miss. It really is weird. I mean, we talked about it a few weeks ago about how the playoffs are going to impact Lane and his decision. Well, apparently,
we had a kind of the wrong take on it.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, okay, well, Lane, if he's going to finish out with Ole Miss, he's not going to be available to anybody till mid-January.
Mm-hmm.
But Ole Miss has kind of grabbed the bull by the horns here, and now, whether you want to characterize it ultimatum or whatever, they've created a situation where after the Egg Bowl on Saturday, a decision will be made.
Yeah.
And the decision is he extends with Ole Miss or he goes somewhere else, and he won't be coaching the playoff.
No, right, exactly.
And that's the implication there. Now, it feels from my perspective that LSU, if he doesn't stay at Ole Miss, LSU seems to have the edge. I know the Gators have kind of been pursuing him for 2 years. Do you follow some Gator stuff that suggests otherwise, or what's the feeling as far as the Gators' chance of securing Lane?
Yeah, so I've been following this very closely, and honestly, it's been going back and forth. Now, Lane's family, wife and advisor and something like that, and one of the kids, they went and visited LSU and Florida.
Okay.
Right? But there just hasn't been any reports to come out of that to know
as to whether the visit went well or
you know what I mean?
Go so well. Okay.
I think a lot of it now, what I've been told is that LSU is preparing some outrageous offer, and Florida just won't be able to match that.
And I heard that Ole Miss has vowed to match any offer.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it just felt internally like Florida's kind of
third
falling
place.
a little behind out of it.
It sounds like it. Now, what may be now. You said that we were off pace with this or off, but you did mention how because a lot of coaches just use these opportunities as to get more from their current.
For sure.
And so that could be all this is. He could just be Saturday and they announced and he's going to stay in an extension, and the extension is the match of LSU's
offer.
Yeah,
I think to me, here's Ole Miss's play. Obviously there's a high speculation that he's going to move on. They are going to probably put together like a match and basically say, here's the deal, Lane. We'll match any offer you get. So money's not the reason you're leaving. You're leaving for something else. And if it's something else, we can't do anything about that. Anyway, so go.
Yeah.
I think that's Ole Miss's play.
And that sounds like it, and the reason why they came up with this Saturday thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, Florida's in the mix, but it just doesn't sound good. And the question for me is like, if not Lane, then who?
Right.
And so I don't know. I don't see Freeman as a Gator guy.
Apparently, he already said no, from what I heard.
Oh yeah.
My understanding is there was some reach to him, like right after firing Billy, and he was not interested. So, but the other thing I want to say too is the interesting. There is a building story that if Lane goes elsewhere, that Ole Miss will get screwed out of the playoff.
Quasi Florida State.
Yeah.
I've been hearing about that too. And
whenever you hear that, and it happened like right after Travis got injured, out of nowhere, we're undefeated.
Yeah.
Like we're, unless we lose, we're in. And all of a sudden in the week right after that injury, everyone starts talking about this. Well, if they're not the same team. And it was never like they got 2 more games. If they can't win without him, it answers itself. They just started popping off with this story
right away.
And this feels the same damn way.
Yeah.
That it's becoming a story, and it's like, is this, you're just kind of preparing everybody to fuck Ole Miss?
Yeah.
Which if they get through this thing 11-1, I don't know all the permutations of the SEC title game. If somehow they're 11-1 in the clubhouse, no other game, you can't keep them out. That if keeping them out is absolute horseshit.
Yeah.
Compared to everything else that's out there, what are you letting 2-win Miami, 2-loss Notre Dame, 2-loss Miami over a 1-loss team? Go to hell. Legitimately. That makes no sense at all.
Man. That'd be too tough.
Yeah. I mean, there is a scenario where they end up in the SEC title game, and if they lose that game, now they're 2-loss. Now you're in the mix with those other teams for a spot. I can buy it a little bit. But if they're 11-1 in the clubhouse waiting for the playoff and they don't get in, that is ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. They'll have to find those committee members. And
we're still looking for them. Sons of bitches. We need to get OJ out of the grave and put him to work. Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible.
No, it ain't. Terrible would be what the room would look like after those people are dead.
I just thought about something. I had something I was going to open the show with. I do have time.
But what is your gut feeling on what Lane does?
My gut feeling on Lane is that he goes to LSU. That's my gut feeling.
That's kind of what my gut's telling me too.
Yeah.
And we did have the Hurricanes up there.
Oh, yeah. Well, you kind of you touched on the piece I wanted to hit from the Hurricanes as far as being the 2-loss and they're just on this cusp of the playoffs. And I wonder about them because they I tell every Hurricane fan I come across, I said the first loss, they could have fought through. The second loss is what's hurting them right now. And then they have this big game against Pitt coming up. Right? Pitt, yeah.
Is it Pitt?
Yeah.
I mean, as it stands now, I don't think they get in the ACC title game.
Right.
And if you're a 2-loss ACC team that's not even in the title game, I don't think you deserve to be in.
The trick is they expanded the playoff field, so it's like.
Well, but this goes back to last year. So if you look historically, last year, and we have 1 year of history, Clemson and SMU played in the ACC title game. They both made it into the playoff, and that was it. No other ACC team. And I think there's no reason to change the precedent there because, you look at, you have Ohio State, you have Indiana, you have Oregon. There might be another team, but those got to be in. And then you've got, Ole Miss, Georgia, Texas A&M, maybe Texas if they beat Texas A&M. Alabama. There's teams. There'll be 2 losses teams, but a 2-loss team in that conference versus an ACC, it just doesn't sit the same. And so I think you're going to have, potentially 7 teams from those 2 conferences. You have the obligation to, I forget which one, like the Big 12 champion will get in. And I think you have the obligation for like the best Power 4 team or 5 to whatever, or non-Power 4 team gets in. And then okay, maybe you could take 2, maybe you take the 2 finals, maybe Georgia Tech and whoever. But if Miami can't get in that final, and maybe they still have a pathway to get there, I don't know. But then if they get there and they lose the final, now there's 3 lost teams. Yeah. And who the hell wants them? Yeah. And you got Notre Dame. And Notre Dame's, kind of, who do they play this weekend? But they'll probably win. They don't have to deal with a conference title game, and they don't. They're already ranked higher than Miami at this juncture. So
if they don't make the playoffs, is it a big failure for them?
Sure. How is it not? Yeah. I mean, put this in context. Mario Cristobal sucks, and you have put major money into the quarterback position 2 years in a row. Yeah. And in a way, it's worked. Cam Ward played great. First pick in the draft, looks to be, if you get some help, a good pro. Carson Beck hasn't been as great. Was really bad in one of their losses, but he's kind of, he's kind of done his job.
He's done some stuff, yeah.
And again, you fall short.
And they have some high draft picks on the defensive side of the ball. They have a freak at defensive end.
Yeah, and they also got the young offensive guy,
the receiver.
Yeah, but it's probably not a balanced roster. I don't really like the running backs; they're very pedestrian to me. But yeah, Mario's just not very smart, and they lose games they shouldn't lose. And again, nobody feels that Mario's gonna outcoach anybody in the playoff. Let's put him in there against Signetti.
Yeah, and see what happens.
There. Put him in there against Kirby.
That's a likely scenario if they were to sneak in on the back end.
Well, that's the thing. They would probably play one of the bigger teams, for sure, early. And although you get that one because the best teams
gets a bye,
get that bye. So maybe you catch a matchup. But if you say Indiana goes to the Big Ten championship game, loses to Ohio State. Now they're not in that top 4. They're going to be a high in the next 8, and Miami if they're barely in. So that's a realistic matchup.
No, 100%, 100%.
But I have heard. I mean, they're a little bit of chirping that maybe Mario needs to go.
Yeah, they're a year or 2 away from that, being surreal though. Yeah. Which is, fortunate for us, unfortunate for them.
But do you want to be the Raiders and just be with all the old guys and make the decision too late, or do you want to be on the front foot?
No, they need to be on the front foot. But just like how we held on to Billy, I mean, I love them hanging on to Mario. So, from my standpoint. Yeah.
Mario's still got a double win against you guys, though.
He got a double win against Billy. Billy is his bitch, not the Gators.
That's awesome.
Really quick here, I saw Kevin Hart's new special, Acting My Age.
Yeah.
So that's a very trending topic on social media. What I'll say on this, it was solid. For the first maybe 10, 15 minutes, I didn't laugh. He had some really good jokes towards the end. Towards the middle. I hate how he's ending his specials, like the last, I want to say 3 specials. He's ending on this weird animal story thing. This one was terrible. It'll be like a story about, it'll be like an animal. This time it was about him and his family going on this, basically going to a jungle or something and seeing an ape or a gorilla
Like
or
a
some
safari.
shit. Yeah, something like that. And it was a joke out of that. But literally, this last 3 specials, he's had a similar story about his family going to a safari or something. There was an animal involved, and it's just not working.
Think there's a little bestiality in the Hart house?
No, it's just the writers need to be better. And
That is such an, on its face, it's just such an odd thing to do multiple times.
yeah, I mean, and consecutively too.
Yeah, like that. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, so it's okay. I'm not in the crowd of Kevin Hart's not funny. I do think Kevin Hart is funny.
Yeah.
I think it's very hard for comedians and rappers once they've made it.
Yeah.
And to make good content, it is very fucking hard. The elites, they do it and stay elite. But I think he's struggling with that, finding stuff. Especially the type of comedian he is, because he's not a jokey joke guy. He's a story and family and this and that, and his family is living in a fucking 30-bedroom house. It's hard to be relatable to common people like that. But I do still think he's funny, and I like his movies too.
I do think, like an aging player, there has to be a pivot.
Yeah.
In your comedy, like the stuff that you were doing when you're young and coming up, it's probably not it's not going to suit your life anymore. So you do kind of have to pivot your comedy to accommodate your different circumstances.
Well, most of those
it may work, it may not.
Well, some of those, I'll say a lot to most, they just give it up.
Yeah,
they just stop the stand up.
Oh, for sure,
and just continue with the movies and shows.
Yeah, yeah.
So I guess I give him props as well for just staying in the ring, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was okay, and I think he's still pretty funny. Now, to what was on my mind, I've been away for so long, I forgot I was supposed to put this in the beginning of the show. That's right.
But we're all off kilter.
It's all right. I treat this particular aspect of dating the way I do spades. In spades, there's a thing called reneging. And basically what reneging is if we play spades and I throw out the wrong book, the other team is like, hey, no, you reneged. You did this 2-3 books ago. And I'm like, okay, hey, that's fine. You think I reneged? You go through the book, you find out what book it is, that's up to you. But if you're wrong, I get to take some of your books. Like, you better be right about this. You can go and you can research, you can do, but you better be right. And so, if I'm in a relationship and I'm accused of cheating, like it's okay, all right, do your whatever, but you better be fucking right, because you're disturbing my peace. You're bringing negative energy, and all of this is just fucking up everything I got going on right here this moment. So you better be right. You understand what I'm saying? And so, like, when you're, and this whole social media thing has just like warped people and women, mostly what I'm talking about here. It's like you can't even like and comment on people's like pictures. Like, I don't even know this person. I'm never going to see this person. You know what I'm saying? And
it's a good picture.
And then also it's just, and I just talked about this 2 weeks ago about like, exchanging likes and comments on posts, because that's really that's the era we're in now. People get paid for their social media. Like, a lot of these girls like that post like that, their pictures and content, like they get paid, whatever. It's only like whatever, $30-$40, but they're into it, so whatever. So yeah, if I'm gonna give them a like or a comment and go on about my business, and in exchange they like or comment our post. That's just how this fucking world works now. Yeah. I just went through this a couple of weeks ago on the show and talked about how that is, and that's just, and so to get all butt hurt over that, it's just not it's not conducive to a good relationship. Okay, social media is a fake place. Okay, it's a fake place. And then also on top of all of that, I'm fucking Bubba. Like, I'm not gonna be fucking a girl and liking all of her pictures on Instagram. That's like high school dudes do that. Like, I'm not that dumb. It's not going to be that easy to catch me doing something.
So you got to like look out for the girls he never comments on likes. Those are the ones.
It's going to be a part-time, full-time job catching me in something, and you better have full proof. Don't disturb my peace for some likes on Instagram. That's not enough. It's not enough, man.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And to think that people are going to like just like that's a lot when you're accused of something or stuff like that, and then just oh, okay, I was wrong, and then think we're just gonna continue this thing, and you done did this 3, 4, 5 times. I don't want to marry a person like that, and every time I look around, I'm what I'm saying, I'm on the chopping block or whatever, or I'm in the scope. I'm in, I guess is a better term. Yeah. It's constantly. That's not a good way. I don't want to live like that. I don't want to, what I'm saying? That's not good vibes. Who would want that?
It's not good vibes at all. It's the opposite of good vibes.
Yeah, it's terrible, man.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That felt deeply personal.
It's just, Eb says she's going to make us a pan of mac and cheese.
Make you a pan. I don't eat mac and cheese.
Oh, man.
What I would do is I would take, the macaroni elbows, I'd boil those up, and I would just put Parmesan cheese on top. And that, I'm good.
Say that again?
I would just take like the macaroni, little elbow noodles.
Yeah.
Heat them up, boil them up, and then just put Parmesan cheese on it and eat it like that. I don't do the whole collage of cheeses and just it's this big messy pile of slop.
No,
that's not my thing.
It's not a messy pile of slop.
It is.
Man.
It is.
You haven't seen the right mac and cheese.
I've seen many a mac and cheese, and I've turned them all down.
Mac and cheese is whatever. But like, okay, then you don't eat green stuff. Jerk turkey, you got to try.
I just don't like turkey.
All right, but you can't turn down everything.
I've had jerk chicken.
Huh? Do you like jerk chicken?
It's okay.
Okay.
But like, I don't need to have jerk turkey.
Fried turkey.
I have no interest in it.
Huh?
If turkey was any good, you would eat it more than twice a year. We would have turkey houses instead of steakhouses. Or maybe right alongside them. But we don't, and there's a reason for that.
It's because they're not making it like this, man.
Yeah, I don't care how they make it.
Are you you a stuffing person?
No, not at all. I eat nothing of the traditional Thanksgiving food. Not one thing.
Pies? Are you a pies?
No,
person?
I'm not a pie guy.
Oh, shit.
I kid you not. Like, I might have a roll.
That's
it. But I'm eating something separate. That
cornbread?
No, I don't like cornbread.
You don't like cornbread?
No, I hate cornbread.
Jeez Louise, I'm trying here. I'm pulling.
It's kind of heavy and the texture's nasty.
Yeah.
That's
it for the main stuff.
I don't eat any. I'm telling you. Like, I've seen it. I just don't eat it. It's just not my thing.
I'm cheating here, but you eat rice. I mean, shit.
If there's no veggies. You know how they do that? Like sometimes you see, like, sometimes you're in a place and you see like a spread of food and you're kind of like, all right, maybe I could check some rice out. And then you open up the rice and it's like got peas. And,
rice and peas.
On, man.
Yeah.
I'm not about to sit here and sort out the little pieces of rice from the little pieces of peas or carrots. I'm like, it's just pass. Take a hard pass. Where's the bread?
I had this a couple weeks ago. There was this thing on Instagram. It was oxtail pizza. I went to go check it out.
What?
Yeah, man. Shout out to the restaurant in the pop. Damn, I forgot the name. But yeah, I went and tried it. Oxtail pizza. It was such when I saw it, I was like, what? Just like you said, what? And so I had to go check it out. It was good. It was solid. Not something I would like go out of my way to go to again.
Yeah.
But it was worth it,
to try.
It was worth it to try.
Yeah. See, my thing, like I just like I like pizza. I'll have cheese, maybe pepperoni or sausage. That's it. If I want to eat like all these other things, like I'll just eat those and not have pizza. You know, if you want oxtail, just go get some oxtail. I don't know. I don't see where the combination of oxtail and pizza like vault both things to a higher place.
Yeah. No, I didn't go to a higher place.
That's the thing, man.
No. But I've had some, what was that? Oxtail tacos. Now that went to a higher place.
Okay.
That was awesome. But not the pizza.
The tacos are kind of universal. Like you could kind of put anything in the taco. You could do fish, beef, chicken, steak.
Yeah.
Oxtail, yeah. Tacos are tremendously versatile.
Yeah.
Just the whole concept of like the Mexican food, whether you go with like a taco, a burrito, a bowl, like it's just you can kind of make that what you want.
Okay.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah, for sure.
You can load it up with like rice and veggies and things like that, or you could just keep it simple. Usually, whatever the beef, steak, chicken, and some cheese.
100%. Well, that has been the show for today. We'll catch you guys next week.
Yeah. So Wood was a scratch. He got lost.
You said what now?
Wood was a scratch. He got lost.
Yeah, I know, right? Damn Wood.